Namoy, it is Joinen, and I am a qualified designer. I have never said that before. I have never made this video before. Just kidding. We have made a bit of a habit out of looking at some of the worst designs we can find on the internet and using my qualified opinion, offering a bit of criticism. Now, my design degree is in digital media, and not every post we're looking at is specifically digital media, but this one is, don't stop. Eat your nails. Mavala stop discourages nail biting and finger stalking for adults and children over 3. I have notes. I do have notes. First of all, don't stop. Eat your nails. Fantastic. Combined with the biscuit nail, cookie nail. Would an American call that a cookie? Am I gonna get comments of people saying that's not a biscuit? Look, just in case. A biscuit in many English-speaking countries, including Britain, Ireland, Australia, New Zealand, India, South Africa, but pretty much every country except the US, that is a biscuit. So, biscuit nail. Dang, it looks enticing. It's a little trim-esque. How to sneak a biscuit onto your finger for a snack later. But honestly, I'm joking. I'm saying that with the placement of that stop sign, it makes it look like they're saying don't stop, eat your nails, which is clearly the opposite of what they're trying to say. But honestly speaking, I actually do think it's bad design, even without the stop sign. Like, let's get rid of the don't stop, eat your nails part. Let's just say the stop isn't even there and it just says don't eat your nails. Why you gotta make them look so tasty? I don't think this line of thinking, this image you're putting in people's heads is really helping, frankly. I'm not one to bite my nails. It's not something I really think about. But when you show me a picture of a delicious biscuit as a nail, I go, maybe there's something to it. Maybe people that bite their nails get the same level of enjoyment out of biting their nails as I do when I bite a biscuit. Let me give it a go. Oh, that's their whole market. Oh, I just got it. They want me to start biting my nails so that I have to buy the nail polish to stop biting my nails. It's genius. If you're new to this, somehow, despite the fact we're looking at terrible designs, somehow like 80% of the time we end up defending it. Anyway, my local skate park puts sponge padding on the top of every ramp. As someone who has never in his life stood on a skateboard, why is this crappy design? Stops all momentum dead in an instant. If you trick on top of it or try to roll into the ramp, your weight pushes your wheel down and stops all momentum, essentially making it much easier to fall face first down the ramp. So they've tried to make it safer and in turn made it way more dangerous. How are we going to flip this one? How are we going to explain how this one is actually a great design? Maybe they are preventing injury. Stick with me. Maybe this sucks so much that no one wants to skate there, so they just don't. And as we all know, if the skate park is bad, skaters will just simply not skate. No, I don't know. I don't know how we're defending this one. It's clearly been put there by someone who, like the top commenter, just doesn't skate and has no idea that that is worse. Although if they really thought about it, they could have come to a conclusion that, yeah, if you're using wheels on a soft surface, it's not gonna roll very well. Anyway, the poor spacing between the letters on Pope Francis's grave. Franciscus. The thing that really frustrates me about this, obviously, like, let's move that CVS out a little bit. Let's give it a little bit of breathing room, right? But why does the A have so much space? Why is there so much space on either side of that A? But none. They used it all up. They used up all of the spacing around the A for some reason. And then we can't move the CVS a little bit to the side. It's like FRA. NCIS CVS. Wait. No, that's CBS. For a second, I thought we were onto something. Some strange subliminal marketing campaign for NCIS on CBS at 10 p.m. It's not hard. It's not hard to get it right. r/kerning, yeah, which the actual subreddit is kemming because of the bad kerning. It is an awful display of kerning, and to put it on a grave, you would think, not even just for Pope Francis, but just in general, if you are in the business of putting letters on a gravestone, then you might know a thing or two about how to put letters on a gravestone. There's no justification for this one. So we're drinking out of mermaids' buttholes now. Hey, we? There's no we here. This is a you thing. This is all you. Don't drag me into this. Yeah, it's a little strange. It's like a Starbucks thing. Why is there like... My question is, why is there multiple? Why is there two coming out of the same... This feels like an AI-generated image. If it weren't for the actual Starbucks text printed up here, I'd be like, there's too many tails going on for this to be an image that actually makes sense. Why would you want that? Why would somebody want that? Why do you want a cup where you're slurping out of the bottom of a mermaid? Even if we remove the strange nuance there that it's a bumhole or what are they saying?
Cloaca.
A cloaca. I just don't get why you would want that. What kind of a marketing move is that? Do people ever even think about the fact that it's a mermaid on Starbucks? I don't know. Maybe this is a me thing. I just feel like when I see the image, very rarely... Wait a second. I was gonna say very rarely do I think about the fact that it's a mermaid, which is true. But I think I had never thought about the fact that she's got two tails. And this cup seems to confirm that fact. This is like a lore-accurate Starbucks girl mug. She's got two separate tails. I had just never considered that. That's strange, right? A mermaid with two tails. Starbucks' famous logo is actually not a mermaid. Huh? It's a siren. Same thing. Same thing. Sirens are just the edgier version. Wait, so a siren actually has two tails? This is all blowing my mind, and I feel like I'm getting so off track. In Greek mythology, sirens were creatures often depicted as half woman, half bird. What is going on? What happened to my reality? Do sirens have two tails? In some representations, sirens do have two tails, particularly in modern interpretations and media. So what? Starbucks. Wait, literally. The Starbucks logo, for example. So Starbucks is doing the same thing to mythology that they've done to coffee terminology. Just completely overriding the history and already established concepts and just coming up with their own thing. Like, oh, you want a macchiato? Are we talking Starbucks or are we talking the actual drink? Do sirens have two tails? Yes, according to Starbucks lore for some reason. Why do they get a say about this? I'm so off topic. Either way, not a mermaid and not a butthole. So, no. Either way, we're not drinking out of mermaids' buttholes. Waste of space and trap hazard. What? The extended table? Oh. Hold on. That's a slope. That's a sloping marble bench. Oh, that's bizarre. I was looking at it thinking it was like an angled bench that was like coming out towards the camera, not one that's sloping down towards the ground. And I was a bit confused as to why we were so frustrated with it. Like, sure, the shape was strange, but it's not like it's that bad. But now that I see the sloping bench thing, yeah, I don't get it. Yeah, I mean, that's just dumb. They clearly, like, accidentally ordered a little bit too much marble. And they're like, what do we do with it? And instead of just having it go straight down, because then they would still have too much extra marble, they're like, slope. So anything, you know, rolling around on your table can now roll off onto the ground. Awesome. That's the easy access to the kitchen counter my dogs have always demanded. Yeah, pets love this table. I can't charge my phone without the switch being on, but the switch also turns the lamp on. That's so silly. It's so silly. All right, how can we turn this into a good thing? If you plugged in a self-watering tabletop herb garden, then that's pretty sick. So you turn the power on for the self-watering system and the light automatically turns on. There's got to be a better use case. If you had your computer desk, you know, your computer, your monitor and all that plugged into a power board that was plugged into that, and it was in your office, we could consider it an anti-phantom power drawer kind of switch. When you're in the room, you want the lamp on so that you can see with all your computer on and all that kind of stuff. Then when you're done and you pack up, you turn your computer off and everything, and you turn the lamp off, it also shuts your computer off at the wall, so you don't have any phantom power draw. Huh? What about that? In that specific use case, if that was something you were worried about, could be a cool design. Now, You could just still split the Switch in two and turn both off at the same time and be able to control them individually, but I don't know. I'm trying my hardest here. Lucky guess. This isn't how Wordle works. Okay, if you guessed lucky and it came back like that, is there any word you could even make? Yulk? Queelk. I don't think there's even a word you could make. I don't think you could get that first line on Wordle. Also, it's not that lucky to get it in two. Although I guess in this case, it's extremely lucky because you got it in two despite the fact it was impossible to get the word guess on the second go. And somehow you still guessed it. Yeah, clearly the yellow letters are supposed to be gray, but I just don't even think there would be a word where you could shuffle the L, C, K, Y around to actually get another word. Yulk. That's what I said. If you guessed lucky and it came back like that and the LCKY was all yellow, not lucky. That is not a lucky guess because there is no word you can get in order to win. Also just kind of a weird mug to have. Why would you even want, like, even if it did work, like let's say the letters were gray, why would you even want a Wordle mug that says lucky guess that you got in two goes? Like, what's the appeal of that mug other than the fact that it's a Wordle mug if you're really into Wordle? I just feel like there would be better things to put on the Wordle mug. It took me a year to find the switch for my bathroom fan. It's still on the way at the top. When that's going on, it ain't ever turning off. Oh, we had a situation like that in my last apartment where no matter what we did, the bathroom fan wouldn't turn off. It's like no matter how many times you would switch it off, it wouldn't turn off. It was just on for like a couple days. And we're like, how are we going to turn this off? It just won't turn off. It took a couple of days to realize that the laundry fan switch turns on the bathroom fan. And so the laundry fan switch, which we had just moved into the apartment, I didn't even know it existed. I think I must have like knocked it. I didn't even know about it. And it turns the bathroom fan on. They're always pulling pranks, these fan switches. This elevator panel is completely unreadable in sunlight. If you look closely, you'll see a 1 in blue color and G in red. I can kind of see the 1. Oh, wait. No, yeah, I can see. Okay, so the 1 is like here and the G is there. Just give us buttons. Just give us buttons. This is not a hot take. It's not a hot take. No one asked for this. I think the design solution for whether to put in a real button or a little touch button is super, super simple. Does the button have any other use? Does it ever need to be anything else? If no, just make it a button, a real button. The fan button in your car, does it ever function as anything else? No, then just leave it as a real button. If that button needs to serve multiple purposes and it needs to be different buttons, then maybe we can think about getting displays involved so that the display can show whatever the contextual use case is in that moment. But if it only ever does one thing, make it a real button. The rule is so simple. Nobody prefers to touch on a little piece of glass than just actually pressing a button. Why have we thrown tactility out the window? Why is that something that just doesn't concern us anymore? This is not 2006. We are not wowed by the idea that something is a touch screen. Things don't need to be touch screens. If a button has one purpose, it doesn't need to be a screen. It just needs to be a button. That's it. That's all. That's my little design nugget that I'm gonna throw out there that absolutely no one is gonna disagree with me on. But for some reason, we keep doing it. I'll see you guys in the next one.